Welcome back to Flash Fiction Fridays and Ame Reads. Tonight you will probably be hearing cats in the background because the kitten is wound up, and this happens to be when I actually have my voice back. I have been suffering from a rather bad allergy attack the past several days because I was dumb and forgot to be choking down my rather large allergy pills. And it doesn't help that my face was pretty much in the butterfly bush while I was assisting with helping take care of the garden. Today's story, we are going back to one of the short folklore tales that has been collected by Louise and Yuan C. Kuo in their book Chinese Folk Tales, which I do highly recommend you get yourself a copy of if you can. And please, again, forgive the background noises because I don't have the time nor the energy to secure the usual amount of quiet. Today, I read for you The Pop-Eyed Dragonfly and the Earthworm, a Han folk tale. All over China, there are many dragonflies, and they flit about in droves. Children are fascinated by their movement and catch them to play with like pets. The character writing for the word dragonfly is one of the first to be taught a young child. Artists are also endeared to the dragonfly, which was a popular subject for painting during a number of dynasties. Sung artists especially captured the ethereal beauty of this lovely insect, poised or in flight. And it just so happens that I, myself, do dearly love dragonflies, and often note both blue and gold that come to visit me. In ancient times, the earthworm had a pair of very good eyes, but then one day while baking herself in the sun, she overheard a dragonfly complaining about her eyesight, mutter, "I can fly swiftly, if only I had better eyes to see further." The kind-hearted worm instantly beckoned the dragonfly and said, "I have a pair of good eyes that I can lend you, but please remember to return them as soon as you can." The dragonfly assured the earthworm she would indeed return them, and thanked her for the kindness. On receiving them, she placed them above her own, and to her great surprise and delight found that she now had a double pair of eyes. They bulged a little, but she could see far into the distance. She was ever so gleeful as she flew over the land. By sunset, the big-hearted worm began to feel uneasy. She waited long past twilight, but the dragonfly did not appear. What should she do? The terrified worm crawled under the earth for the night. The next morning, she crept out and from time to time called in a pleading voice, "Dragonfly, dragonfly, please remember I need my eyes. Please remember." But the dragonfly was nowhere in sight. Meanwhile, the happy dragonfly flitted past hills, winding streams and pathways without end. Weaving in and out of foliage and flower-scented gardens, she reached a pond filled with lotus. Amid the tall, elegant grass, she caught sight of a frog taking care of her little ones. They were so lively, jumping on the lotus leaves, leaping onto rocks and over one another. "Gurk, gurk, gurk," they seemed to be saying. "What fun, what fun, oh so such fun." "Ah," the dragonfly sighed, "I'd like to raise my little ones in a pond. Will you show me how?" she begged the frog. The frog was only too happy to help, but as the days passed, the dragonfly found that when her young ones changed their forms several times, naughty children often snatched them from the water and destroyed them. It was really very sad. This will never do, she began to think. My own way was, after all, the better one. Thereupon she decided to speak to the frog about the problem and simply said, "Frog friend, I'd like to raise my little ones as before."
"But it's too late now," the frog replied, very annoyed. "How can you possibly change now? Perhaps Mother Earth can help you."
The dragonfly hurriedly flew away to seek advice. Only then did she remember the worm and went in search of her. She flew far and wide, high and low, calling as loud as she could, "Where are you? Where are you?" By this time, the worm had become accustomed to staying under the earth. In fact, she found her new home cool in the summer and comfortable in winter. Whenever she left the bosom of the earth, the sun seemed to bother her. So she remained under the earth and never even heard the dragonfly calling. Thereafter, the earthworm was content to live under the earth without her eyes. But the dragonfly still has the borrowed pair of pop eyes and continues to circle round and round, trying to find the worm. And that was the pop-eyed dragonfly and the earthworm, a Han folk tale, read by myself, Teresa Garcia, or Amehana Arashi. What did you learn from this particular folk tale about the earthworm and the dragonfly? Was it perhaps return what you borrow swiftly? Don't get sidetracked. Your own way might be better. Or think thoroughly before making your decisions. There are so many possible meanings to this tale that it would take quite some time to sit down and think through what they all might be. Please feel free to comment with what you pulled out of this tale, and if you know of any similar tales in any of the many wide and varied, beautiful parts of our world. Until next time, I'm Teresa Garcia, or Amehana Arashi. Good night, and happy reading.